So for a reward for watching this review and going over it again, you may turn in your yellow calendar tomorrow, fully filled out, so you could help each other fill them out, for a free 100. You may turn that in only tomorrow. It won't be 2 free 100s, only 1. Okay, number 1, this is a D equals RT, a dirt problem. So we went ahead and picked out the information from it. Miles per hour is a rate, meaning your speed. So I put that down. And then your next information they give you is 145 miles, which is a distance. And the T is obviously your question mark, so you fill it in. The D is 144, the R is 24, and the T stays. And then you have that one-step equation, which you then do the pink by dividing off 24. So 144 divided by 24, and you get exactly 6. So your final answer is 6 hours and 144 miles. Number 2, same exact equation. So it talks about miles and hours. In this case, they simplified it to minutes. That's fine. It is still just a time. So they gave you the time. They're giving you the rate because this is miles, like miles per hour, but it's just miles per minute. So you put miles over the time, and this gets you the speed. This simplified is 1/3. You can leave it like this or convert it to a decimal. The problem with converting with the decimal, you can't multiply something that goes on for infinity. So it's looking for the distance. How far can he ride? So the D is the unknown. So 27 divided by 3, and you get 9. That's 9 miles in 27 minutes. Number 3, write the equation. Well, here we go. It's proportional. It starts at 0, 0, so that B is 0. And then you start looking. That dot right there has an ordered pair of 2 over and 2 up. 2 and 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so that is 1x, and of course the plus 0 does not exist. So it's just simplified to a generic y equals x. Number 4, you're increasing by 10, increasing by 20. This one would even be 40. 2 and 10. In other words, take this number and divide it by this one. Take this number and divide it by this one. And it all simplifies down to 10. If you backtrack, you subtract 1. And subtract 1, you get 0. Subtract 10 more, and you get 0. So yes, it is proportional. That means there's nothing added or subtracted because y-intercept is 0. That's this number. So we put y equals 10x. The 10 is your m. The b is your plus 0, which means it is proportional. Okay, first it says, is it a proportional relationship? But this is the big part. It's highlighted for you, and that means explain. It is proportional because these form straight lines when it's graphed, and it crosses at 0, 0. It must go through the 0, 0. You can see that it backtracks. Minus 10 is 0, minus 1 is 0. So that's where that 0, 0 comes in. You must identify that it's proportional. You must tell me why by saying it's a straight line, and it goes through 0, 0. Okay, number 6. You don't have a scale factor from 8 to 3. 3 times nothing is going to get you directly 8. But if you look up and down, I'm going to multiply the 8 times 2 to get to 16. So 3 times 2 gets you 6. And that's where that comes from. In other words, you could have just simplified, and that's a 2-to-1 ratio. So that's a scale factor of 3. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, same exact thing. You could have simplified this to 3 over 1. In other words, just multiply the 5 times 3 to get here. But all in all, it's just the simplifying. Times 3 to get to this way, so your answer's 3. On number 8, it's using the unit rate. Unit rate, so you're dividing these two numbers for Walmart, and you get this, 32 cents. Divide these two numbers for Target, and you get 25 cents. Divide these two numbers with the money under the hood, of course, and you get $45. Money under the hood, and you get 28 cents. So that means Target is the cheapest. Okay, on number 9, make sure you're looking at the comparison of eggs and servings. So you write eggs over servings. It's 4 eggs to 8 servings, so you have to write it the 4 next to the eggs and the 8 next to the servings. And it says how many eggs, so that is your question here, and 12 servings. So you just solve it from there, whether I just simplified and then did scale factor. Basically, it's a half. So what makes 12 a half? A 6. So your final answer is 6 eggs for 12 servings. You have to have the setup and the final answer along with the work. Number 9 got compared to quarts and dollars. Now, as a rule, I always put dollars on top. That is not a must. It's just my preference. So not 7.25, and that's next to the dollars, and 5 quarts. So that's next to the quarts. Your unknown is how much it will cost. So that is up here with the dollar sign for 8 quarts. You go ahead, and I went ahead and found the unit rate. So I divided these two and said, oh, it's $1.45 a quart. And then multiplied it by 8 quarts, and that came out to $11.60. You could have just, at this point, you could have cross-multiplied if you prefer that. Number 11, it only gives you one number in this problem, and that's because these two numbers come from your formula chart. You have to get it from there, your reference chart, because the reference chart says 1 pound to 16 ounces on there. So you go to 4.6 pounds and how many ounces, that's your question, and then you cross multiply, which means you're just multiplying those two numbers, and it's shown like this. So do the multiplication and you get 73.6. Your final answer, 73.6 ounces of turkey. You must identify what it is.